Juan Muniz, one of the union monologue speakers, gives some perspective on the background of his speech and the power behind his name.
I feel like any writer performer, you forget that your name has power. That's what the piece was about. It was about my name and about how my name Juan gets turned into Juan. And I don't have a problem with that per se. Like sometimes it's easier to just introduce myself as Juan. What's funny is my family, they all call me Johnny. To them, I'm Johnny. Everyone else knows me as Juan, or Juan, however it's pronounced. With the piece itself, I was happy with how it turned out. I was happy with how it was received also. Uh, it's really nice when the audience is engaged in the piece, because if whenever I perform in an audience setting, I don't ever want the performance to be just about me. The audience is just as much as part of how anything else goes, as much as the performance. Without them, it's nothing. I had no idea, or I guess I was just blind to the fact that people look at the title of like the author's name, or like just the person, or just anything. They're looking at so many things but the words themselves. And I think it's important that we identify the biases that we naturally have. We think because a storyteller or a performer's name is this, or sounds like this, that's all they can be. And we say them through our own language. And I touched upon the piece how just in, I guess, America in general, we're learning history. We're learning it from our side and from our perspective and how it affects us. But this is what I think I need to work on too, is just when I'm talking to someone, I don't need to relate to them 100% in order to have empathy, in order to hear their narrative. And when it comes to like surviving, just being a person, it's hard. It's hard to just get out of your own head and your own selfishness. I don't think selfishness is a bad thing, or like bias. I think the word discrimination has been hijacked. It just means to be able to put apart, be categorized. But I think it's just really important to be aware of that and just go into things like any time, any story, any narrative with a clear mind. Because then you're dictating what the writer, what the performer can be. You're not giving them a chance to show you what they are. It was strange going into this as a contest. I didn't see it as that. I was just enjoying everyone's performances. And there's no way to escape politics, even in performance, even in writing. Everything becomes inherently political. And written word, or anything that's meant to be art, however you may define it, it's not supposed to be political. It's supposed to be human. It's supposed to be about humanity. And when we hijack our work for politics, that's all it can become. It just becomes the identity and not the experience. It just becomes the name of the author who's performing it, as opposed to what's being expressed and what's being shared. And I think that's something that I always want to be aware of, but that I think some people aren't. And if I was the person to share it with them, that's great. If they got it from elsewhere, that's great, just so long as we just stop making things about what they are not, what they are. Yeah, I think that's important. But yeah, I might go back and change the wording to where it could be more concise. But overall, I think I got what I wanted to get across.